One of the key messages in Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy is living a life with a clear purpose, fully aligned with our true nature. He encourages us to live as the person we were born to be, without fear, hesitation, or being held back by societal expectations. Nietzsche argues that most of us live in a world full of societal standards and norms, where we are expected to conform to what others want rather than living the way we truly desire. The truth is, these expectations constrain our growth and prevent us from discovering and expressing our true essence. Nietzsche challenges us to rethink the limits imposed by society, and he asserts that true transformation starts from within. When you live in complete harmony with yourself, you will feel a powerful energy, a sense of freedom and happiness that nothing else can compare to. Living as the person we were born to be is not an easy task. It is a long and challenging journey that requires us to have the courage to break through the barriers created by society, to overcome fear, and step out of our comfort zones. This means having the courage to live life on our own terms, even if it leads to criticism or loneliness. However, it is in these challenges that we can truly discover and grow, becoming stronger and more genuinely free individuals. One of the key elements Friedrich Nietzsche emphasizes is breaking free from societal conformity. Nietzsche believes that most people live in a cycle of following rules, habits, and self-doubt, preventing them from reaching their full potential. He criticizes people for not daring to break the limits set by society because they fear change and the uncertainty that comes with it, instead seeking safety and acceptance. According to Nietzsche, true greatness is reserved for those who have the courage to step out of their comfort zones, face hardships, and create their own meaning in life, rather than waiting for it to be given to them by the outside world. When we are bound by societal norms, we lose the ability to explore and express our true selves. Nietzsche believes that those who fail to challenge society's expectations will only live as mere shadows of who they could have been, never reaching their optimal version. Not being willing to change or face challenges will only lead to a life of boredom and dissatisfaction. Nietzsche encourages us to view life as a constant experiment where we must continuously renew ourselves and create our own values. Only by breaking free from societal molds and embracing life's challenges can we truly become the person we were born to be. Friedrich Nietzsche asserts that one of the most important elements of personal growth is overcoming suffering and hardship in life. He does not see suffering as something to avoid, but rather as an essential part of the process of maturation and self-improvement. In Nietzsche's view, challenges are an indispensable factor in making people stronger, as what does not kill me makes me stronger. He argues that the struggles we face, the failures or losses in life, are not meant to destroy us, but rather are opportunities for us to rise above our circumstances and become better versions of ourselves. Many of us often seek comfort, avoiding difficulties and pain, but Nietzsche believes that this avoidance only weakens us and hinders our development. Rather than running from suffering, he encourages us to embrace it, because it is through these challenges that we truly grow and realize our boundless potential. Suffering is not something to shy away from, but an opportunity to forge inner strength and develop character. Nietzsche argues that true change and personal development can only be achieved when we face difficulties and pain, as it is through them that we can view ourselves from a new, stronger perspective. Thus, embracing hardship and challenges in life is not only a way to train ourselves, but also the key to discovering the inner strength we never knew we had. When we dare to face pain and turn it into motivation, we truly mature and walk the path toward becoming the person we were born to be. One of the important aspects of Nietzsche's philosophy is his view on creating meaning in life. He opposed the idea that life has an inherent meaning or purpose that one simply needs to find. According to Nietzsche, life does not come with a predefined meaning. Instead, meaning must be created by the individual. This is both a great challenge and a wonderful freedom. It pushes individuals out of reliance on external factors, such as guidance from society, religion, or any pre-existing value system. Instead of searching for a purpose that is already determined, each person must set their own goals, create values for themselves, and live according to principles they choose. In Nietzsche's view, not seeking life's meaning from the outside but creating it from within is an act of freedom and self-affirmation. He believed that true freedom only comes when we no longer rely on societal norms or judgments. Instead, we can create our own life from the choices and decisions we make. However, this requires great courage because it involves facing uncertainty in the absence of clear guidance from the outside world. This can leave many feeling confused, but Nietzsche believed that only those who are brave enough to embrace this uncertainty and create meaning for themselves can achieve true freedom and personal growth. Friedrich Nietzsche pointed out that one of the key factors in becoming the person we were born to be is the ability to overcome ourselves and create our own values in life. Nietzsche called this process self-overcoming. To grow and become stronger, we must continuously challenge ourselves, break through the limitations we have created for ourselves, and dismantle old beliefs, fears, or habits. Self-overcoming is not just about overcoming the hardships of life, but also about the continuous process of self-development, pushing ourselves to go further and to become stronger. One of the biggest challenges in life is having the courage to let go of safety and comfort in pursuit of bigger goals. People often tend to cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them. However, Nietzsche argued that it is precisely in uncertainty and risk that we can achieve true freedom and personal growth. Overcoming oneself is not just about achieving personal success, but about continuously recreating and reshaping ourselves, seeking and building new values to live by. Self-overcoming is not an easy journey. It is a long process that requires perseverance, courage, and determination. To achieve this, we must confront our own fears, dare to fail, and learn from those failures. Only by truly accepting difficulties and challenges can we achieve true freedom and live according to our potential. One of the key aspects that Friedrich Nietzsche emphasizes in his philosophy is a strong rejection of the victim mentality and those who always blame external circumstances. He argues that blaming external factors, such as society or any outside influences, only causes individuals to lose control over their own lives. Nietzsche believes that to grow and achieve true freedom, each person must take full responsibility for their own life. If you constantly view yourself as a victim of circumstances, you will remain in resentment and will never rise above them. Instead, Nietzsche encourages us to let go of this mindset and accept that every failure and difficulty in life is an opportunity to grow and become stronger. Nietzsche particularly opposes living with a passive mindset, waiting for salvation from external sources, whether from society, religion, or fate. He insists that no one can save you but yourself. People must create meaning in their own lives and not allow external factors to dominate. If you do not take charge of your life and fail to take responsibility for your decisions and actions, you will remain stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction and disappointment. Nietzsche wants us to view life as a journey that we navigate and create ourselves, not a path that has already been predetermined. When you let go of the victim mentality and recognize the power within yourself, you will begin to experience true freedom. This is when you no longer fear failure or opposition from others. Instead, you will dare to step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself to create a life worthy of your potential. It is a process of overcoming yourself, where each step forward is a milestone of growth and freedom. Friedrich Nietzsche emphasizes that to become the best version of oneself, each individual must actively create their life rather than waiting for change from the outside. He argues that many people in modern society live in a state of waiting, hoping for salvation from society, religion, or external factors. However, Nietzsche believes that true change only happens when people stop living in anticipation and instead actively create change from within themselves. He does not believe in seeking salvation from anyone or anything other than oneself. Each person must take responsibility for their own development and create their own values and meaning in life. Nietzsche particularly criticizes those who live in resignation, blaming circumstances instead of finding ways to overcome them. He believes this is a form of self-imprisonment. Feeling like a victim of life only strips us of our power and ability to change. Nietzsche argues that true freedom comes only when we realize that life is shaped by us, and nothing can stop us if we dare to walk our own path, even though that path may be challenging and uncertain. This requires each individual to have great courage to face fears, failures, and challenges in life. Only when we stop seeking salvation from external sources and begin acting from within ourselves can we truly unlock our potential and live a life full of meaning. In Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy, creating and living by personal values is one of the key factors that allow individuals to truly live freely and achieve greatness. Nietzsche asserts that each person must create their own values and meaning in life, rather than living according to values imposed by society or family. He believes that living by values imposed by others makes people become dull and lose their creativity. These values are not principles given by society, but what we form based on our nature and dreams. Nietzsche argues that people cannot grow without embracing uncertainty and being willing to live a life full of challenges and risks. He does not believe in stability or absolute safety. Instead, he believes that real life begins when we can create our own values and live according to those values, regardless of opposition and misunderstanding from society. Living by our personal values gives us the freedom to become the person we want to be, rather than someone who simply lives to please others. Nietzsche also states that this path is not easy. Accepting life on our own terms requires great courage and determination. We cannot rely on salvation from outside sources, but must create and defend our own values. However, it is through the process of living according to personal values that we achieve true freedom and live a meaningful life, not governed by the judgments or expectations of others. One of the most profound concepts in Nietzsche's philosophy is the idea of eternal recurrence, a thought experiment that encourages us to reflect on how we live our lives. Nietzsche invites us to imagine that if our life were to repeat itself forever, with every decision, every moment, every fear and doubt repeating endlessly, would we be content with the life we live now? This is not just a hypothetical question, but a powerful tool to assess whether we are living a meaningful life. If you feel regret when thinking about living this life over and over again, it is a sign that you are not living fully, that you have not truly taken control of your life. Nietzsche's concept is not meant to instill fear or despair, but to encourage us to live each day as if it were the only time we could live it. It is an invitation to live with integrity, where every decision and action carries the weight of a single, unique life. Nietzsche believes that if we can accept the idea that this life could repeat forever, we will no longer fear failure or change. This makes us stronger, more willing to live authentically and live a life of true meaning. In this way, Nietzsche emphasizes that life is not a journey of waiting or avoiding hardships, but a continuous process of seeking perfection, freedom, and meaning. If we live in a way that we could accept repeating it forever, we will truly live fully and never regret what has passed. One of the important lessons Nietzsche wants to convey is the idea of continually improving oneself through small actions every day. According to him, change and growth do not come from grand steps, but from making small, courageous decisions in everyday life. To become the person we are meant to be, we do not need to wait for the perfect moment or a big event to begin. Instead, every action, every small choice we make daily can be a significant step on the path of self-development. Nietzsche emphasizes that it is the persistence in carrying out these actions, no matter how small, that will bring us closer to freedom and greatness. Nietzsche also argues that courage is not about doing great things, but about facing our own fears, doubts, and hesitation. Every time we overcome fear to do something new, that is a step in the process of self-overcoming. Rather than living in waiting or hesitation, Nietzsche advises us to act immediately, not to delay, and not to wait for perfection. It is in these moments that we discover the hidden strength within ourselves, overcome our limits, and gradually become the person we desire to be. Life is not an event to wait for, but a series of small actions we take every day. It is the commitment to this process, even when facing failure, fear, or uncertainty, that will help us become who we truly can be. Nietzsche believes that greatness is not something we can achieve instantly, but is a long journey that begins with the small decisions and consistent actions we take every day. The key message in Nietzsche's philosophy is that living a meaningful life starts with continuously improving ourselves every day through small but consistent decisions. Life is not a grand event we wait for, but a series of small actions, each of which can create significant change. Nietzsche encourages us not to live by values imposed by society or others, but to create and live by values we form ourselves. This journey requires courage to face fears, doubts, and sometimes the loneliness that comes with choosing to live authentically. The important thing is that we should not wait for perfection or an ideal condition to start making changes, but act today with small but firm steps. Nietzsche's theory also emphasizes that courage is not about doing great things, but about overcoming personal fears and surpassing the limitations we impose on ourselves. To truly live fully, we must embrace challenges and continuously grow, taking action even when there is no guarantee or perfection. This applies not only in our work, but also in relationships, personal growth, and how we face difficulties in life. When we step out of our comfort zone and face challenges, we will truly feel the latent strength within us, and gradually life will become more meaningful and free.